Hello everyone, my name is Dante, and I am a spiritual guide and healer, as well as a channel for the Pleiadian Council, an extraterrestrial consciousness that speaks through me and supports us on our ascension path together. This video, however, is maybe a little bit more basic, and it came from a question that somebody asked me last time I was live streaming. The question is what to do with fear. So let's take this a step back and come to this awareness of the polarity we experience as physical beings. We experience things as good or bad, as darkness or light, as love or fear. Yet ultimately you can't have one of these without the other. And when you get to a higher dimensional perspective of them, all of those energies are seen as one and the same thing. So you have to love your fear. The simple answer is that when you feel fear, you have to love that feeling. You have to give yourself every right to feel that feeling. You have to acknowledge that this is an emotion that is trying to tell you something. And you have to also realize that this fear you're feeling is actually love. And if you can get anywhere near that kind of mental understanding of it, or at least conceptualize it, it's a lot easier to love that fear. Fear is often called false evidence appearing real, or false expectations appearing real. Fear itself is a biological drive that induces this cortisol in our bodies, this state of stress. Fear is necessary for our animal self to be able to escape from potentially dangerous situations. Yet, because we have come to see things that appear very threatening to us, even rejection can feel very threatening to us. That triggers within us this feeling that, oh, if I am not totally loved, I will be pushed from the tribe and therefore not able to survive. We have to be able to see those things that begin to trigger this release of cortisol and stress within us as totally false, as totally mute things that are created from the belief and meaning that we attach to them. So we have to be able to totally neutralize our emotion of fear. And we can only do that through loving it. Loving at least the one who is feeling it and experiencing that emotion in our bodies as love. So a very simple way that you can do this, and I'll guide you through this shortly for a moment. There's much better, longer versions of this out there, I'm sure. For our purpose now, just remember a moment that you felt very afraid, that you felt threatened, that you felt like someone or something was imposing a negative influence on your well-being. And I want you to just close your eyes and remember that until you feel that charge in your body again. And notice where in your body you feel that. Notice that particular sensation. Come to feel it completely. Bring all of your focus on that sensation and start to put so much focus on the sensation that you start to allow the thoughts about it, the story behind it, to dissolve. Greet this sensation as an expression of love and give yourself every right to it. Do not label the sensation as good or bad. experience it only as sensation. Maybe you want to take your breath into that sensation, and maybe you want to smile to it, because when we smile, we open the vagus nerve, we reduce the level of cortisol in our body, and we increase the level of oxytocin. So you want to smile directly to that sensation and say, I have every right to feel this way. And I'm going to go beyond the story of why I'm feeling this way into this sensation. And you might find that that sensation starts to dissolve simply through bringing your focus to it, simply by offering that little permission slip of a loving thought to it, that little permission slip of a smile to it. And that sensation that was related to this emotion of fear then dissolves, and with it, some of that fear as well just dissolves, just vanishes. This is a very easy way to deal with fear as it comes up. Every time that there's a little trigger, instead of trying to fix the thing outside in physical reality that has caused you to feel that fear, take yourself away from it and feel it inside of your body. Know that your body holds all of the magnetic charges stored at a subconscious level that will attract the things that will trigger this feeling again and again and again until you offer that feeling itself total non-resistance. When you can train yourself to do this, you will be really accelerating your ascension, because when we say that we want to evolve as souls, we're asking the law of attraction to work quicker and to show us much quicker what we're actually a match to. And therefore, the things that have been perhaps traumatic within us that we have pushed down are going to come up again and again. And we have to learn how to be unbiased towards those emotions and towards those sensations. Now, you can come at fear at a very mental level too, and everyone works differently in every moment. Sometimes this very body-oriented approach is great, and sometimes it's very helpful to write lists. One thing you can do when you have a very scary thought is, so let's say, I am afraid that I'm going to lose my job. And then you write, I'm afraid I would lose my job. And then you would think, then what would happen if I lost my job? If I lost my job, then I would not have money. If I didn't have money, I would have to find other ways to make it. If I had to find other ways to make it, I might have to depend on other people. If I had to depend on other people, I might have to be more vulnerable. If I was more vulnerable, I would experience a lot of shame. If I experienced a lot of shame, I would. And then you get to this end point, if you keep going and going, that will be an indication for you of why you're really holding that feeling. And as well, it will bring you to that deeper emotion that the fear is trying to protect you from, this kind of surface level anxiety, level of fear. Now, there's much deeper levels of fear as well, and truly we have to unravel them in a process. So I don't think any spiritual awakening is complete without doing inner child work, and I have some other videos out there about that. I have some writing about that. That's a very effective way to start to deal with your fear. And then a simple mental way to deal with fear, if it just comes up in the moment, is to ask yourself, what must I believe to be true in order to feel this way? Because the fear that we're feeling when it is not directly related to something that is immediately threatening our well-being is always the result of a belief system. We may fear rejection because it would mean that we aren't loved and that we are not worthy, and then we have to face that idea. We may fear what do we fear? I think I've processed a lot of my fears. It's hard for me to think of an example, but yeah, I'm sure you can think of, that's not entirely true. I go through fear all the time. There's little micro fears that are always coming up, micro triggers, hairline triggers, things that people say that I have to then turn within and be like, oh, okay, why am I feeling this? What am I believing about myself? What haven't I loved and accepted within myself? What about their relationship towards me right now is making me feel negatively about myself? And then I look at what that belief is. I feel the emotion. I don't judge the emotion. The more that I allow myself to feel that sensation and that emotion in my body and smile to it and be like, oh, this is okay, I'm going to love this, the more what the fear is really about begins to fade away. One thing that is very helpful in dealing with fear is to face death itself. So here, very appropriately today when I'm making this video, I'm wearing this shirt with Kali. And when I was in India, I got this shirt, and this monastic type man in Vrindavan saw me wearing this shirt, and he was like, Kali no good. Kali doesn't like you wearing, basically saying to me, it is inappropriate for you to have a deity expressing itself in this way as a t-shirt on your body. And I mean, I thought about this on and off for years. Is it? Is it not? Well, for them it is, because that's a practiced belief system. For me, I wear the goddess Kali, and I have like the best day ever sometimes, because for me, this is a permission slip that says, I create my own reality. I create what this definition is, the definition of having this religious icon. To me, Kali represents in Hinduism, Kali is the destructive force of the divine that makes sure that everyone dies and kills Shiva in some stories. So Kali is this power that shows us our humanness, and my relationship with that is in allowing everything its time and space and passing, to know that we can't actually attach to any of our passing experiences, that we have to see them as not the ultimate source of our happiness. What really brings us happy is our internal connection with divinity. And everyone conceptualizes divinity in a different way. Many religions are built, are distorted and taught in ways that actually keep people separate from the divine. And this level of fear is built into so many of the religions and the religious teachings. So people coming to New Age spiritual awakening will often retrain those old circuits that tell them you must fear in heaven or hell, or you must fear your good or bad karma, or you must fear this about this superstitious thing of putting the magical key or candle in the very most perfect spot, or the spirits aren't pleased with you. That conditioning becomes rewired into all of these different new belief systems that are based in fear. And what helps me the most in facing these fears is to know that the ultimate truth is that meaning is optional. The being Bashar says that there's only 5 laws of the universe. The first is you exist. The second is that everything is here and now. The third is as above, so below. And the fourth is everything changes but the first 3 laws. That's 4. That's not 5 laws. You exist and you will always exist, 1. Everything is here and now. as above, so below. What you put out comes back. And everything changes but those first four laws. That was the one that I was missing. What you put out comes back. So if you can really strip things down to those basic tenets, you will see that every other layer of meaning is something that is created only by your belief in it. What you put out comes back. So you have to make sure that the things that you're believing to be true about yourself and about the universe are based in love and bring you the sense of love for yourself. And the last thing I want to say that also links in a little bit with what Bashar teaches is the difference between excitement and anxiety. And this is probably one of the most important things when discussing fear, because excitement and anxiety are, again, those same parts, the different poles of the same energy. Just like love and fear are different parts of the same energy. We will disguise what we will either disguise what we're excited about as something we're anxious about, if we don't believe we deserve it, or if we're afraid of what would come with naturally expanding into our soul, or we can disguise what we're anxious about as what we're excited about for some of the same reasons. Now, this is something that is, again, with all of these things, going to manifest in different ways for every person, and every person is going to understand in their own way. There is a tendency that develops when you learn to face your fears, to push yourself through everything that you're afraid of. Many opportunities are always coming to you. All of those opportunities are attracted to you based on something you hold. But not all of those opportunities are actually representative of your highest excitement. So the best way to figure it out, because oftentimes we won't stop being afraid of something that we are excited to do until we do it. I was terrified some of the first times that I held space in ceremony. I was terrified some of the first times I channeled. I was terrified some of the first times I recorded these videos. Talking in this video today, I was a little bit nervous anyway, though I did it anyway because I knew that it was something that made my heart beat quicker. I knew it was something that expanded the sense of love and empowerment within me. And we have to really ask ourselves, are the things we're afraid of things that are actually bringing us this feeling in our body of expansion, this feeling in our body of being more of ourselves? You may have your heart beating out of your chest very rapidly, and that's a good thing. When you push yourself into those states of great excitement, you release all sorts of dense energies without even thinking about it and processing it, because you're just in this heart expansion that is like, wow, powerful, moving you forward. Though sometimes that we think that we just have to push ourselves through the things we're afraid of. We may be afraid of going to work because of whatever reason that is an indication of we don't actually want to be there. Yet we bring ourselves there day in and day out because we're more afraid of the other option, and we're more afraid of the thing that we actually want. And so the trick in those sorts of situations is in discerning which things actually make you feel expanded. You'll feel it in your body. And I think that is why the first thing that I guided and suggested in coming back into your body is the most important thing when it comes to fear. When you feel fear and you can turn it into sensation, and you can allow that sensation, you can take peace with that sensation, then you will come into this state of total neutrality, which is a more accurate state. The universe is neutral. When we're tapping into a higher level of reality, it is ultimately neutral, and it contains both positive and negative expressions in this dimension. And when we can come into that state of neutrality, we will feel more viscerally in our body the things that bring us to expand. When you're focused on the ideas, the actions, the people, and the new ideas that bring you love, that bring you a feeling in your body of expansion, that's the right direction. You still may feel fear in spite of it. Move through it. And there are many tools like breath work, yoga, meditation, deep relaxation, and a healthy lifestyle that will help you to move forward through your fear. Honest, vulnerable expression, speaking with people, spending time in nature, these will all help you do the things that you're afraid of doing but know you have to do. The most important thing is to learn how to know if the things that you're afraid of are actually in your interest. If the things that you're afraid of are bringing you to feel expansion, they're feeling your throat to feel blocked off, they're making your heart feel closed, they're making your body feel like it's shutting down and very tired. Those are things that you're afraid of for good reasons. And in those instances, fear is doing what fear is meant to do by protecting you from making the choices that are going to shut you down and keep you trapped in fear-based energies. When you're feeling those fears, you have to turn that sensation into neutral energy, feel it, allow it, and find a better feeling thought that brings you to light up with love. Continuously find a better feeling thought that brings your heart and your whole body to light up and radiate that love, and you will transmute the fear. Again, the short answer, what to do with fear is to love it, and love the one who's feeling it, and allow it, and detach it from the story behind it in order to get to that deeper core belief. Again, inner child work will help, and speaking with people about it will help you apply these tools in deeper ways to personal situations that need specific focus. If that's something you want to do with me, visit my website, blissbeings.com. You can look at the personal healing services I offer. I offer channeling, counseling, energy healing, in which we can go into your body and scan for those parts where that fear is stuck and bring healing to them and help you develop more awareness of those blockages to transform them with energy and love. This is what I love doing the most, and this is what brings me to expand, so it would be a joy to work with you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like my channel, share this video, share my channel, spread the good news about this work. The love has won on this planet, in case you didn't hear that. It's we're on an ascended Earth now, and we're just doing the groundwork to make it a reality. So it's a joy day in, day out. Except when we're purging stuff, and that's part of it too. I love you, and have a very good day.